Record. Hey, 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 that's right. Here we go once again, setting it straight with fam. I got my two boys here, Jordan and Joshua, again like this here, but check this out. We got a new one. We got a guest. We got my boy Bernard. They're straight up from the South and Kakalaki. About to set it straight with us again for that Dallas Cowboys. He's about to bring it. He about to hang with the crew. Can he do it? Can he keep it real? Yes, he can, because you know what I'm saying, he hanging with the best. That's right, and we're going to do it again today, talking about them Rams. Can them Rams do it? No, they can't, because them Dallas Cowboys going to shake it up, going to shut them down. Vegas got us up by about 6 points, right? But that's all right, they should have had us about 50, because we're going to blow them boys out. Okay, I might be tripping a little bit, but that's okay. But we're going to talk about them Rams today, and we're going to talk about that defense. And going with that defense, is when I think about the Rams, I think about the defense. I know I'm not too particularly worried about their offense because I believe our defense is going to be able to shut them down. Even though they got awesome running backs, awesome receivers. I'm sorry, but I just think that we will offset that. We will shut them down. I don't think they can score more than 17 or 15 points on us on the offense. But that defense. So with that, Joshua, come on, talk to me, man. What can they do? What can they do about that against that defense?
All right, so the Davis to be looking out for is one of the best players in the NFL, probably one of the best overall NFL defensive linemen, next to Lawrence, is Aaron Donald, right? So he is a game wrecker, right? He is the Micah Parsons of the Los Angeles Rams. He is the same Aaron Donald as of a couple of years ago. He will beat you in the passing attack, and he will beat as far as passing, getting to the passer, and he will beat you with the run and stuffing the run. He's the type of guy that you, as Zach Martin had to say, that you have to circle, right? You have to circle when you're preparing to play these guys. Okay, so he is a game wrecker. But besides that, as far as the lineman goes, there's not a lot of household names, right? Maybe on the defensive end, you have like Bryce Young, right? And you also have Turner on the defensive. So but Turner is good on the run. So we're probably, as far as the inside of the run goes, I'm not saying the perimeter runs, but the Cowboys are going to have the work cut out for them when it comes to the interior runs and running in between the tackles, right? You're talking about your A gaps, your B gaps, right? So they're going to have a little tough time doing that. But if they can get something going on the perimeter, they'll be good to go too, right? But just the safeties or the corners that you have to look out for in this matchup, right, is the guy by Witherspoon. Right, so Witherspoon, I'm the type of person that I would, if I was the Cowboys, I probably would not throw in his area, right? So I'm not saying he's the best cornerback of all times, but he can get lucky at times, right? So I would pick on the other cornerback that they have. I would pick on the other quarterback that they have, so to expose that defense. So this defense is not like the 49ers, but there's a lot to be had here, right? But as far as the defensive goes, the person that you have to circle is your Aaron Donalds of the world. What about you, Jordan?
I agree with almost everything you said up until you said the corners. If I'm CD Lamb, it's another day where I'm licking my lips. I got my fork and my knife. I'm ready to go and eat because Witherspoon is a good corner, right? But he's nothing to fear. Like if I'm CD Lamb and I'm Dak Prescott, I'm looking like this dude has chopped liver. Like I'm about to go eat. So, and their passing defense, I think they're ranked like 15th. So they're somewhere in the middle of the pack. Like they're good, but I think that's our advantage. in quotation, our advantage is, I think better receivers than their corners. Well, I know we do have better receivers than their corners. It's more so a game plan of how we use them and how we execute. But yeah, I agree with Aaron Donald. Like, yeah, we already know what Aaron Donald do. Hall of Famer, great guy. You know, he's gonna terrorize. We forgot about Bobby Brown, the third, and the inside. You know, another guy who's gonna, because Aaron Donald is getting double teamed or even triple teamed. Watch out for Bobby Brown. You know, to pick up the slack. Yeah, you got Byron Young out there on your edge. They have solid guys. Linebacker Ernest Jones. They have solid players. Like their record, I don't think necessarily like they're in a lot of games. And this is one of those sleeper games. I wouldn't even say sleeper. This is one of the games I can see the Cowboys losing, even though they shouldn't lose this game. Just because I know the Rams are gonna fight. They're gonna fight tooth and nail to come out here and lay a smackdown on us. You gotta worry about Cooper Kupp. You gotta worry about their new guy Puka Nakua. And then I don't know what it is too about every time we play the Rams, they always run it down our throat.
Right.
It doesn't matter who's at running back. Someone always ends up going off on us, and it doesn't help that Kyren Williams right now, ninth best. PFF has him the ninth best running back, and I don't know. I'll be circling him on our defense, make sure that we hold him up. But yeah, I mean their O-line is nice. They got the number one guard out there with Kevin Dotson, so. I think it's going to be a fun game. I think this is a game that we should win, but we'll see.
Okay, but that goes to put up another question when you said that every time we play the Rams, they come and they almost basically what you're saying, they come out and out hustle us in a sense. So based on that alone, our ability to go out and give 110%. Bernard, what do you think? You think they I mean our effort level, what do you think about that?
Well, when teams play Dallas, they always get up for it. I mean, they come to their A game, B game, C game because it's the Cowboys. So with that said, like I said, we got to give 110 for the whole game. And we known for making somebody a superstar with no name out of the blue. So we make somebody a superstar in Dallas just because we not coming 100%.
So is that right? Odell Beckham, right?
Right.
So what? I mean, so what does that come out to? I mean, why? How come we get to this effort issue? What's bringing this effort issue along? What comes out? Is it what is it that we're not coming out prepared? Are we not coming out prepared enough? Or you think it's just a personnel, the guys we have just don't give it all when we play? I mean, Josh, what do you think of that?
So I think it's play calling. I think these guys give effort. I mean, you're an NFL player professionally, so you're gonna give your effort 100%. Right?
Not all the time, though.
It's not even the preparation too, right?
Right.
I think I understand, right? But in this sense, like sometimes I feel like the play calling, hinders you. You can play your behind off as much as possible, but if you're not set up in the right position, there's not much you can do. If you're limited, if you're playing with one hand tied behind your back, there's really not much you can do, right? I wanted to go back to the offense. Did we ever talk about the offense yet?
No.
At all?
No.
Okay. So
Jordan talked. No.
I'll wait till later when you talk about that. But as far as giving your all, these guys are professionals. They play hard. You can see that. They just need a little bit of confidence. So this is a confidence game. If they can go into this game, because they have to win this game, right? Yeah. Going to this game and winning this game and coming out as 5-2, playing the Eagles, it's a lot better than 4-3. But as far as
3-4.
As preparing, I think they're gonna have 100% prepared. I think they're gonna have a lot of motivation going to this game because they understand the spotlight is on them, whether they like it or not. They talked about Dak talked about it this week. Michael Parsons talked about it this week. Zach Martin talked about it this week, right? CeeDee Lamb talked about it in a sense, right? If you're on the Dallas Cowboys at this point in the year, you are on the spotlight. And you have to give credit to the Eagles for that, right? Because typically, the Dallas Cowboys are typically around this time, like number one in the division. You know, we're talking about playoffs and everything like that, and you know, how do we keep the momentum going if all of our core players are there? Everything's good to go, right? But because of the fact that your opponent, your divisional rival, is number one in NFC, right? Any small thing that you do is going to be looked at in a microscope, right? Any loss is going to be exploited 1,000%, exponentially, right? So they're going to come in this game prepared, right? It's just hopefully that the play callers and coaching staff puts them in the right position to play, because on paper they should win. On paper, they should win. Right?
Yeah, on
but
paper.
I think these
Yeah.
guys are going to be prepared.
But you know, I'm glad that I'm kind of glad though that we are not on the top of the game on the number one, because I think sometimes that get in our head in a sense, and we always wait to the last minute when it counts to not show up. But right now, I think fighting for that edge, fighting for that position, hopefully that would give some more effort to say that we got to get there because we're not there. We got these guys ahead of us. We got San Francisco. We got these Eagles that they're in front of us, and we're gonna have to play better. We're gonna have to do better. We're gonna have to get out there and make a name. So these games like this Rams games, you know, that we have tomorrow. Hopefully they were like, we can't afford to get too far back because these teams are good. They're playing, they're winning games. They might not be better than us, because I'm sure they probably say, man, these teams are not better than us, but they have a better record. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that. I don't believe Philly is that much better. If only edges, and I know you're thinking different, Joshua, but I know Jordan thinking differently. But for that, but I don't think Philly has that head and shoulder elevation over the Dallas Cowboys. And even though the San Francisco beat us down, I don't think they do as well. But I'm calling on the coaching. Now, if you put the coaching aside, I don't think so. Now, if you add the coaching McCarthy and the way he's playing, I know that you guys, we're going to talk about that a little bit. That's a whole different thing. That how I believe. So based on that, Jordan, do you think the position that where we are in right now and who we have right now, do you think that we can get past Philly and San Francisco?
Can we get past Philly and San Francisco?
Yeah.
That's a tough question.
I know. That's why I ask you.
Philly, yeah, San Francisco.
Can we get past? Well, I would say yes, we can. Will we? I don't know. That's a whole different question. I'll just say this: we'll all be in the playoffs, and we'll see how we run the table from there.
Okay. Let me set this question differently so it can be different. Okay, because we're gonna talk about this later on, but I'm gonna talk about it now. With what you've seen our coaching staff, how we play and how they play the game, without any change of that, can we beat past Philly and San Francisco?
Look, if we can get up 7,
Can't get behind, right?
In the fourth quarter, be up 7. I think we can beat any. I think we can beat those teams.
Yes.
If we're playing from behind, we're I don't see us coming back. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And that's based on what though? That's based on our play calling, our coaching.
Our play calling, our coaching, how our team does when we're down versus how we play versus when we're up. Are we going to be up 3? Just the way the play calling is different, and the feel, the intensity is just different from when we're down. I don't even think Mike McCarthy is necessarily great in that. What's the word? I guess he's not. To me, I don't see it all. Anytime he's down, right, his play calling, I question a lot of the things that he's doing. Versus when he's up, maybe that's just because he's up too. I don't question like, hey, why are you running here? Hey, why did you call that play here? Versus when we're up. And the defense plays better, and the run game works better. I also feel like when we're up. So yeah.
That's kind of goes along what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? Because And based on that, I'm gonna stay on that. I'm gonna stay on the subject because it's just fun. It's fun to me. But I pose this question. I gave this question to you guys yesterday, and it seemed like it kind of exploded. You know, because we did the what ifs, right? And I was like, okay, based on what the same talent that we have on the team right now, without picking up anyone else, we're not going because we're going to talk about the draft deadline coming Tuesday. But let's say draft deadline was yesterday. We have who we have right now. There's no more coming and no more going, right? And if we had Andy Reid and the Andy Reid staff on our squad, where would we be? Would we be able to make it to the division championship with the same talent, but different coaching and different coaching staff? So, and I know Joshua first said there would be no change, which lead to me a lot of things. Well, that's what you said. That's what you said. That's the question I posed. No, that is. I said.
You already know what Joshua said. I want to hear somebody else who we haven't discussed this with. I want to hear what you think.
Okay, all right, Bernard. Okay, well, hold on. No, I know what I asked, and I know what your response is. I can go to my text and I can go back and I can just read it verbatim. Okay. Yeah, afterwards, but not.
No change.
Right. That's what he said. He said no change. But forget that. I'm gonna go to. Right. I'm gonna go.
You're talking about the whole entire
coach.
Been clarified because you said no change, and when you said that, I had to just ask Dad. I said, correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying if the whole coaching staff we had that whole conversation. That's all I'm like. What you mean? You know.
Yes. Okay, but hold on. Before we get into it, I'm gonna ask Bernard.
Defense, yeah.
No, hold on. That's right. Because you said if we don't. You said if we. Thank you. All right. So, but I'm gonna ask Bernard. What do you think if we had the same players, the same question you guys? Because he hasn't heard this discussion. So I'm gonna ask, just like Jordan asked, to see what he had to say. So Bernard, what do you think if we had Kansas City, Andy Reid, and his coaching staff? And we swapped it. We swapped same players.
Defensive coaching staff. No Dan Quinn.
No, same player. No. Okay, listen. They're Andy Reid and his coaching staff. Complete swap. That's what I'm talking about. Complete swap. All right? That's what we got. All right, Bernard, what you think?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Because Andy Reid is a mastermind for offense. So Dak, we still haven't seen the best of Dak yet. And that's they play calling. He's just stuck. So with Andy Reid and the way Andy Reid called and designed plays, and Dak probably had a lot more freedom to make moves and make changes. I don't think with McCarthy, whatever McCarthy calls it, Dak don't change plays. Every now and then he might change it, but he don't have that freedom as a Patrick Mahomes. And then for our defense is twice as better, way better than Kansas City. So whoever the defensive coordinator, he'd be blessed to have our defensive players. You put them on a basis because they hungry.
So what you're saying is Kansas City defense is balling right now. So with that guy playing against our talent, our defense, you saying it probably be washed. Are you saying washed? Because Dan Quinn is a good defense, but then but actually lately when we were playing against San Francisco, I don't know where he going. I don't know where he been. He might have Atlanta. He went to Atlanta or something. I don't know where he been. He went back to Atlanta in the Super Bowl, man. I don't know what happened to that. But yeah. Okay, so now we got his take on it. So I'm gonna go back to you, Joshua, so you can go ahead and put your correct context into this conversation. Go ahead. Let me hear you. What you got?
All right. So if you're talking about a complete swap, right? I don't think. Yes. Do I think the offense will be a lot better? Yes. The offense will be a lot better. I just don't think the defense will be as dynamic as it is in the Dan Quinn system. So, yeah. So while the offense is scoring more points, I think the opposing offense is scoring more points too, right? So,
Really?
uh,
So you think if Kansas City defense staff, our Micah Parson and D-Law, all of those guys that we have out there, and our corners, we won't be as stout that we are right now, at least.
because I mean, I'm looking at this a lot deeper, right? Because Dan Quinn knows his players, right? I'm saying if they just did a complete swap, I'm saying the defensive coordinator, I forgot what the guy's name is for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's not going to know Deron Bland. He's not going to, as Dan Quinn, he's not going to put him in there as Dan Quinn will put him in there. He's not going to put it because he is predicated on a stout defensive line, right, causing pressure and to bring it home, right, as opposed to like, hey, we're not going to put that much pressure and we're going to concentrate more on our defensive backs, right? So who knows? Like, I mean, I get it, right? I don't think the defensive coordinator is going to be that
Really? You don't think so?
idiotic, if you will.
Man, look.
He's not going to be that idiotic he's not going to put Michael Parsons on the line.
Man, that's what they
I don't
do.
think he's going to do that.
They watch film. They watch film. I'm sure he knows. I'm sure he knows
Right.
everything about that team, just like we know about their team. And that's not our job. We are just a fan. I believe those guys. That's what they do. They watch film, and I'm willing to believe that Kansas City coach will come in there and take over. And be successful.
So
He might not be
so
successful
at
as
this
Dan
point-
Quinn, but he'd be successful without talent.
At this point, you're saying that they will be 6-0 or 5-1.
Probably 5-1 because
5-1.
that San Francisco, I don't know what happened to that.
Not
That
much
just
difference.
said that.
So not much difference, right?
Oh, I'll say no. Look. That's coming from the past. That's coming from the past. But going forward, I believe we be divisional. I think we'd be divisional champions.
I think we could be more 6-0, if not
6-0.
a closer 5-1. That game would be way closer.
Right.
Rather than the way it turned out, if Andy Reid was coach staff. You're sitting here saying Dan Quinn, he put Ron Bland in there. He schemes, Parsons this way, that way. Kansas City has what's his name? Their defensive end. They have something at the cornerback position. They have dogs on their defense, and that
Big defensive end.
it's a Super Bowl is a multiple Super Bowl rings on that defense. So I'm gonna give that defensive coordinator more leeway than Dan Quinn because we saw Dan Quinn in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that wasn't a good. That's not a good picture for Dan for that.
Okay, first of all, that's Dan Quinn as the head coach as opposed to Dan Quinn as the defensive coordinator. Like, let's.
Okay.
Key word
Oh, okay.
head coach.
Your main thing is
That's true.
Your main thing when you get hired as a head coach, if you come in like Bill Belichick, for instance, if Bill Belichick is known for defense, right, and he has a defensive coordinator, and it's the Super Bowl, you're telling me that, hey, I'm gonna put everything on my defensive coordinator, and I ain't gonna take no blame for any of the blunders that we go through, even though I'm a defensive minded person.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to say it this way, right? So that Legion of Boom with the Seahawks, that was Dan Quinn, right? That's partially Dan Quinn. So, and
Okay, that was good.
the beginnings of the the Atlanta Falcons had some sort of a good defense, and also when he's a defensive coordinator, he's a lot better defensive coordinator than he is as a head coach, right? As a head coach, where are you at on the sidelines? You're not in the office right now looking at the X's and O's. You're not doing that. You have to worry about a lot more than that, right? So,
I will agree with you on that.
head coach wise, there's a bigger difference, right? But I'm saying is that I just think the Eagles at this point, until something shows me differently, that they, as far as on roster, right, and defensive and offensively, right, they have a better overall team on paper.
Who?
The Eagles. Because that's
I don't
the
like
only
you saying
team. That's the only team that the Cowboys is playing against, right? Because at this point, right, I can see people saying the 49ers and everything like that, right? But the thing is do I believe the Cowboys are going to go into the playoffs? Yes, right? Do I believe that they'll beat pretty much almost every other team there is in the NFC. Yes, the only two people are the only two teams that they have to worry about is the two teams that they already played and they're about to play next week, right? It's the Eagles and the 49ers. Right,
right, but see, that's my point.
Would there be a change?
But
would there be a change at the end of the day? No, I don't think there's going to be a change.
Okay, but yeah, but that's
better roster overall.
But my thing is, which goes back to the beginning, had we, but here's my thing.
You have a lot of long-standing players on that roster that played good together. That isn't necessary, and they have a better coaching staff. But I don't think that roster, like talent for talent-wise, is better than ours. Not at all.
Right, but here's the thing though. But here's the thing.
O-line is better than the Dallas Cowboys O-line. Their overall receivers are better than the overall receivers of the Cowboys. Right? Yes, the quarterbacks, the Dallas Cowboys quarterback is better than the Eagles quarterback. That's
So where do you going? Where are you going for receivers being better than based on the stats they have this year, the talent that they have?
Based on overall.
I'm
not putting Michael Gallup post ACL injury.
Okay, I'm not talking about Gallup. You got to take Gallup out. We're not talking about Gallup.
I think that's a wash.
Exactly, because I don't think Brown is better than Lamb, talent wise.
I think it's a wash. I think it's
I think AJ Brown has the edge there.
Nope,
I
don't.
He has an edge.
Nope. And what? In the catching?
He's way faster. He's got more of a physical type receiver, but
He's just physical.
CD can still do the same thing Brown does. CD does not like to go down. He's a yards guy.
He is definitely a yard guy. You're right.
But Brown might be a better route runner than him, and he's a more physical yardage guy. But that's not saying CD can still run great routes. But so I think that's a wash.
But here's the thing though. My thing was, have we had and going back to the beginning of this conversation, have we had a different staff? Will we be able to beat Philly when we see them, or this Redskin, and can we get past them?
Last year, I don't see why we can't beat them this year.
Yeah.
We split last year.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm just saying. But I'm talking about. But see, what I have a problem is our coaching. I have a problem. You guys obviously don't.
I do.
I have a problem with the coaching. I don't have confidence in our coaching. I don't.
No, we're not saying we don't have a problem with the coaching because
I thought you weren't, because you were saying that Andy Reid and that catcher couldn't do nothing better than them. So I thought you.
At the end of the day, I'm not saying with the team. Okay, will the team overall be better? Yes, but at the end of the day, they're still not going to go to the Super Bowl and if the cards play out right now, if the Eagles are playing,
who will stop them?
Cool.
Who will stop them?
To the NFC Championship.
Who will stop them? Who will stop them? Because I believe we'll beat Philly, and I believe we will beat San Francisco again if we had Andy Reid and his staff. I think so. Okay. So outside of them two, who is left to stop us from getting to the NFC Championship?
Now that there's a blueprint, now that the God has bled.
Well, that's what we're talking about from today.
Now that the God has bled, now the 49ers are not seeming as formidable as they were beforehand. Now, granted,
well, we played them once. We're gonna know how to play them the second time.
One of the wide receivers
if
was there,
good
but there's ways to get at them that Dan Quinn hasn't seen before. I guarantee you that he's going to put that in his playbook once they play him again, right? So I get that, but still on paper, right? Because they just got one of the.
Well, we're talking about on field though. But we're talking about on field. We're talking about on field. We're not talking about on paper. We're talking about on field.
Our defense is number 2 in the league. Their defense is number 9. So just based off that right now, especially if I would believe that our defense is going to carry our team, and I don't believe in that offense as high-powered as you think they are, I don't believe in Jalen Smith like that yet.
Hurts.
And our defense is number 2. The only person that I think that we even have a challenge beating is because they have our number, and sometimes that's just how it goes. Styles make matchups make fights, and all that. But when it comes to the Eagles, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't feel Eagles.
And then it shows it. We're second, and they're ninth in defense.
You guys are predicating that the Dallas Cowboys haven't hit their peak, which I agree, right? Offensively, they haven't hit their peak.
With the coaching staff, I don't think we will hit our peak.
right?
I don't think we hit a peak with the coaching staff. That's what I'm saying. We're not reaching it.
But at the same time, the Eagles haven't hit their peak either. There's a lot of miscues on the Eagles too. That's what I'm saying.
True.
I'm like, they'll look.
I don't know. I think people have more paperwork for Jalen Hurts now.
You're put in a better position, or your coaching staff is hindering you from allowing you to blossom and be what you can truly be.
I just think it's a little bit of both, to be honest with you.
Right.
I mean, you can say that. I mean, it's hard to argue against it. But I think it's more on one side than the other, though. I'm thinking it's more coaching than talent.
Do I think Mike McCarthy is so let me get this on record, right? Do I think Mike McCarthy is the best play caller in the world? No. I think
you're not by yourself with that.
average.
Right.
Average?
I think he's a little bit
subpar.
He's kind of in the average range, to be honest with you. From what we saw this year, yes, he is average. So from what we saw this year, he is average. But I've seen something different in the Cowboys offense last game that I saw than I saw these other games beforehand, right? I've seen your quarterback throw the ball down the field a little bit more often than he was, so which that is something to be optimistic about, that he was throwing the ball down the field a little bit more often than he was in his last games, right? So while Mike McCarthy is not the best, but he's certainly not the worst. I think the offense will get better.
Certainly not the
I'm
worst.
optimistic that the offense will get better. How much better? I don't know. But I do believe that and this is something that your friend was talking about.
Look, the offense is ranked like 14th right now. I think that offense should be at least top 10.
Should have been. Based on our talent, yes.
Top 10? I think the offense should be top 5, but still that's
I thought you got a problem with top 10.
No, so like top 5. But look, this is what I'm gonna
Okay,
say, right?
so you're talking about a 10%. So what's stopping them then? What's stopping them? Got to be coaching.
Remember, last
If
year,
you saying we should have been,
because last year we was number
So,
one.
Let me ask you a question, right?
we was number one with a
Number one
different.
last
We was number one offense with a different play caller.
with the same group of players,
Pretty much. Pretty much.
same offensive line. I don't think that's missing is.
So this is why I'm going to differ. This is how
Zeke.
our opinions differ, right? I said this before to you guys on the text message, right? And I know Jordan's not going to like me saying this, right? But I was proven wrong about Terrence Steele, right? But that's not the same Terrence Steele that we saw last year. This is post ACL injury of Terrence Steele, right? This is an O-line that hasn't gotten their gel together. They have to play at least 3 to 4 games to actually get into some semblance. They said it like the 49ers. The 49ers game was the first time since 2021 that they played together. That speaks volumes about, like, so yeah, is it the coaching staff? Yes, I have to give the coaching staff, but it's also the players too, that they have to gel and mesh with each other. Not mess, but mesh with each other.
I agree to that.
So they need to know how, like, Tyler Smith needs to know, like, okay, at this point in the game, or at this point, this guy's this type of a rusher, I need to do a pull block here. I need to pass it off to Tyron, and I have confidence he's going to do it this way, right? And that's how you get a better offensive
cohesive
O-line, offensive line, right? So I do believe it's the place. Like if that gets comfortable, right? I think we all can agree with this. He will pick you apart, right? But in order for him to get comfortable, the O-line is going to have to mesh with each. They're gonna have to gel, right? Terrence Steele's gonna have to play a little. I can't say, like, he's gonna have to heal a little bit more and be more confident in his ACL, so that way he can, because he is an athletic player. He's not more of a strong player. He's more athletic, so he's more able to get to the outside a lot better. He's able to jump quicker than he's been displaying beforehand. So he needs to be more confident in that, right? Tyron Smith needs to stop getting hurt. I don't know how you do that, but he's like, even he was on the injury report this week. I was telling you, I don't even know how you get hurt on a bye week. You know what I mean? This dude, I won't ever see him get hurt on a game. You always see him get hurt outside.
Outside. You're right about that.
Well, Diggs got hurt on the practice.
So, like, this guy has to, like, get healthier, and if he gets healthier, it's gonna bode well. They need to put, like, beforehand, I was saying, oh man, just keep him out of game, but he's gonna have to be in this game. He's going to be in this game. He's going to have to be in the San Francisco game. This is going to be a gauntlet of teams. They have to mesh well with each other, right?
So is he playing this game? Is he playing this game?
Yeah.
He's he out?
He's questionable. He was limited on Friday. He was limited on Thursday and limited on Friday. And that's why we need to get to the offense because I have something to say about the Rams offense too. But so just keep that in mind. We have to talk about the Rams offense. But the thing is that he's been light practicing on Thursday and Friday. So it was a stinger, as they said. So they're optimistic. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones said that they're optimistic about his status. So that's a good thing, right? So I just don't want this, if they play in the game, which I don't think the medical staff is going to put him in the game, to get it worse, right? If he's on the field, he's healthy enough to play games and games after that, right? So he needs to be in this game. He needs to be in the future games so that way they can mesh well, right? And I do believe this is the game that they're going to start because of the fact it's been about 2 games that they're going to start to get it together, right? They're going to start to get it together, and you should see a different offense than what you have been seeing in the past. But as I digress, it's a little bit of both, right? Your players and everything like that. Like Michael Gallup, right? CeeDee Lamb is good. He needs to.
Why you keep on calling Michael Gallup? But is he still playing with us?
I don't know. He is because all those those missed throws from Dak was all from Michael Gallup, right?
His mindset, his mind's out of the game.
Last game. Not saying all the game because he played really good in the Cardinals game, but that's the type of person that Michael Gallup is. I'm not going to get into it. He's like shows up maybe 1 or 2 games and you forgot that Michael Gallup's on the team, or I think Michael Gallup forgets that he's playing for the Cowboys. I don't know, but I will say that he's probably gonna have a good game this week. Next week, probably not. But the thing is,
Say he the Anthony Davis on Dallas Cowboys.
He's street clothes.
The thing is,
Mr. Inconsistency.
The defensive, they're gonna have to do better too. You know who's also gonna have to do better, right? I'll say it.
Play calling.
That's gonna have to do better.
Oh, okay.
Right? Dak Prescott's gonna have to do better too. Is he not throwing? He's not throwing picks, but like while he was throwing picks last year, right? He was moving the ball down the field, right?
He was taking a lot of shots.
He was a little bit more aggressive. He was scrambling out. He was doing run plays. He was doing that dual threat. He needs to continue to do that, and the offense will be better. If you want to stick with your same game plan, then put Dak Prescott more as a dual threat quarterback, and if not, then put homie in that came in this year.
Trey Lance.
But if not,
You're not going to see Trey Lance. You're going to see
Rush.
you're going to see Rush before you see Trey Lance.
Right, you're right. So at the end of the day, then he just needs to be a dual threat quarterback, and
I agree with that.
he needs to do more scrambling plays. Design runs. I don't want him to be running all over the place because he's not the fastest of quarterbacks, right? But when it calls for it, run the ball and slide.
And if he sees the
That's how he got hurt last time trying to slide.
Yeah, he plays hero. Well, he got tackled from behind, so that's another. But the thing is, he tries to play hero ball. He tries to get the ball. He tries to make a completion. That's what's causing him issues in his I won't say interceptions and sacks, right? Because he's trying to keep the ball alive, trying to extend plays, right? Sometimes there's a good song that says this: you gotta know when to hold them, you gotta know when to fold them, you gotta know when to walk away, you gotta know when to run. All right, so that should be Dak Prescott's.
He's a true cowboy. You got to know when. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So he needs to know when to throw the ball, he needs to hold on to the ball, and he knows when to walk away, throw the ball away, or if the play calls for it, he needs to know when to run. Okay? And so he needs the whole offense, they just need to play better. But until I see it, I'm gonna have to put the Eagles in I know that sounds bad, but until I see it, I'm gonna be like this, right? Now my opinion might change, and they might I might have to eat crow after next week, and they're like if they beat the Eagles, right? I hope I'm wrong. I seriously hope that when I come in or when we have this podcast, you guys are like, man, Joshua wrong. You don't know nothing about football.
Are you really hoping that? Are you really hoping that?
Look, Eagles, look, I will do a lot of things. I'll do like almost anything to beat the
Right,
Eagles.
right. He's a closet Eagle fan. You come in, I told you. You guys didn't want to listen.
I don't want to say that. I would say this.
Well-
I don't. This is the times where I don't want to be right. I do not want to be right. But there are plans for them to succeed, and there's optimism for them to get to the NFC Championship, even with this coaching staff, right? But we have to see, right, for them to progress. Because remember, this is Dak's first time in this offensive scheme,
Right.
right?
So he's still learning. I agree on that.
Jordan makes a great point. Where Dak is just going to the hot read, right? He's playing a little bit like Cooper Rush did last year, right? When he was just going to the hot read, and that was it, right? I think
was
when he
getting
gets
them
more and more
W's, though.
comfortable
He was getting them W's,
in the
though.
play calling, he gets more comfortable in the scheme, right? You're going to see him not only go to second, third progression, but you're going to see him look off the safeties. You're going to see him look off the safeties, and he's going to make plays like that. Like how many?
He's not looking. He's not looking off for nobody right now.
Right. And so I think
He's
with that
focusing.
being called- and then I think with that being said, I think you're going to have
He
once
don't
you
change.
get more
Ain't gonna change.
comfortable in it, you'll see the more pre-motion snaps and everything like that. But they just got to get comfortable in there.
Man, when he
I
was
mean, I don't know about pre-motion stats, but it's-
yeah, when we was playing against Chargers, when I saw him looking at a receiver, and that dude didn't turn his head. Nothing. He locked on.
Won't
You know,
move.
you know what I'm saying? It's
That one was the whole game.
they call it
yeah,
transcribing
like
plays.
5 minutes went by, and he still. I think he was still looking at him when he came back to the line. He took his eyes off him. He walked back on the line. He was still looking at the receivers. Say what?
It's called telegraphing your throws, right?
Right.
You're telegraphing it, which means like you're giving the opposing team the play and where you're going. You can do that with the quarterback, or the offensive lineman can do it too. Actually, the offensive lineman and the wide receivers, even based on what they were standing. Like I think 2 years ago when they were playing the Rams, one of the defensive linemen were like, they knew based on
Right.
who was it was he used to play. He was the left guard. He went to the Bengals.
Not for him. I know you.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Left guard.
Yeah. One for him.
But he was, Lyle Collins, right? LSU grad. But anyway, Lyle Collins, the way how he was standing, he was telegraphing like, hey, this is going to be a run play. Hey, this is going to be a pass play, right? So you can do it like that based on how the wide receivers are standing. So same thing as a quarterback. If you have a deadlock on the wide receiver and trying to figure out when he's going to break, right? And it also comes down to trusting your receivers too. Trusting that your receivers knows the game plan. Like stop waiting for him to get open. Trust that he's going to get open and just throw and anticipate the throws. We saw that a lot last year.
Right.
We saw that a lot last year with Dak Prescott was anticipating the throws. Now, did that cost him to throw
A
some
whole
interceptions?
lot of interceptions.
Right?
Yeah, it
Because
did.
the fact that his wide receivers failed him a lot of times, but he was anticipating throws. And once they get comfortable in the system, I think you're gonna see a lot more of that. But they just gotta get more comfortable in the system.
Well, I mean, if you're not comfortable, you got to know how to check down. You got to look someplace else. If you see that guy's not there, if you don't see, the defense played him different. Now he's doubled. They cheating from the safety pull up. Turn. Go somewhere else. You know, it don't take all day. He taking so long to read nowadays. It's like what take you so long? I mean, what's going on? Why are you so locked on and not doing anything else?
But you gotta remember, his release time is one of the top 3 in the NFL right now. He's like 2.4 something seconds.
You know why?
His release time.
Because he released the first thing he sees.
Right. He throws it regardless if you open or not.
Like yeah, pow.
He throws it regardless, dog. Yeah.
It's getting out my hand. You
getting
know
out
what I'm
my
saying?
hand.
I tell you what, you're not gonna do that.
This goes into everything I've been saying. Once you get more comfortable in the scheme, once the O-line gets better to match, he's going to have more time to throw the ball once they get downfield. Like, right, are they using – I agree with you. I'll agree with everybody that says they're not using Brandon Cooks like they're supposed to, right? But if the O-line is not meshing well, if he's not having time to throw the ball –
So you say –
has
so you
time.
right, but yeah, he do. I think he have time.
He has time. He has time.
He's
We-
the top 3 quickest release. We mean he has time to throw the
He
ball.
has time.
He's top 3 in release
Just
time.
because he got just because he released it fast don't mean he don't have time to release it.
Going to his first read and throwing it. He's not.
Yeah.
So how do you know? So
That has
okay.
nothing to do with the O.
Nope. Nope. It don't.
Look at the game. Okay. Look at the games again. Look at the games again. I know you guys have been looking at games. I know you guys have been doing research. But in instance, yes, I know you watch all the games. I know you watch all the games. Right? But look at them. Look how the O-line gets crashed in. If the O-line gets crashed in
the pocket, and he's looking at his first read, and he's like, "Oh, should I go on my first read?" Or something. How you gonna say this O-line not giving him enough time when he has time to hesitate?
Right.
No, because the fact is, like, there are times where he does that because he's moving around. Like, one thing, because Dak Prescott is not a statuesque quarterback. One thing great about Dak Prescott is he knows how to navigate within the pocket, right? Meaning, even if when it's coming down, he's not going to stay there in the same place, right? Like
this last game, this last game, he started going out again.
The only person I can like compare this to, even though he hasn't played before, but if you guys remember, like Carson Wentz, right? He's a statuesque quarterback. He's going to stay there in place, right? And you can see that a little bit with
Carson Wentz.
No, not with Matthew Stafford, but a little bit with who was it? Mac Jones, statuesque quarterback, where they're going to stay in the same place. They don't move too much around. Like Dak Prescott uses everything that the pocket gives him.
Just pass game, you can say that. You just pass game, you can say that.
Everything that they're doing in the pocket. My thing is, how often is he pressured and forced to roll out? Yes, he is. There's times where guys get beat. Everybody's gonna get beat. It's the NFL, the best of the best. But at the same time, it's not on the O line. It's not on Dak. It's on what Dak is saying. It's the coaching. It's the way the plays are being called. That what Dak is literally having when you can literally sit there and watch Dak. Pause it, rewind, and see that go, oh, I'll just go there. Like, it's something like you have somebody in his ear saying, don't go it there. Just go to the first thing. Like, why are you forcing plays to Gallup when we know
Gallup's not open?
Right.
why are you avoiding using Brandon Cooks when we know Brandon Cooks is a playmaker?
I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. And this goes back to being comfortable in the scheme.
The O-line, but it's more than the O-line. Like, the O-line, yes, the O-line will take time for them to gel and to be what you want them to be, the O-line of the past, when we had DeMarco Murray, when we had Zeke, in the first 3 years with Zeke. Yes, they're not that O-line.
You had a different O-line then. You had a different O-line.
Yeah, but you can't even say it. You can't even say our O-line is not giving them the time though.
Main people are still on that O-line. Martin, Smith, and Biotish. Still at the end of that, and Smith are new to that. So I don't know what you're saying.
Tyler Biotish is not playing well in that 49ers game. And if that's what the game that we're referencing. Are we referencing that game or are we referencing
that 49ers game?
Are we referencing the 49ers game or are we referencing the last game?
No, we're definitely not representing the last game, because the last game is the only game. The last game, the only game that I saw that Dak Prescott played anywhere different of even though he was getting out, he was running, and that's the only difference. He still ain't looking for nobody else. He just run, which I'm happy for it. I'm like, dude, you look at that one ain't good. He scrambled out and he run. Or the last time when he hit Pollard down the middle, that was the only time I saw him scramble and then hit Pollard, then the Pollard ran and got walked down. Which was kind of surprising. I don't know how that brother got walked down like that. But anyway, other than that,
we have the same Tony Pollard, because Tony Pollard got hurt too. You're talking about we have the same people from last year, this year. Yes, you do, but there's two people that are like your right tackle and your running back who got either their leg broken, physically broken, or they had an ACL or a soft tissue injury, right? They're not going to be the same like they were. I'm not saying they're ever going to be, but they're not going to be the same as dynamic as they were beforehand. Also, Tony Pollard had Zeke Elliott. As much as
we agree,
flack as we give Zeke Elliott, right? Tony Pollard didn't have. And I used to like kind of get mad at the running backs coach, but I have to give the running backs coach credit, right? They were like, why isn't Tony Pollard getting more touches, right? Because, and this is what the running backs coach said last year, he's not as effective with that many touches
right.
as the many touches that they're giving. And you're seeing it this year. You're seeing it this year.
Look.
You're seeing it this.
But the way they called plays for him last year is drastically different from the play.
I'll give you that.
Right.
I'll give you that.
You Zeke sitting right next to him. I mean, as far as sitting right next to him,
And hand the
you
ball
gonna
to- hand the ball to him.
Like everybody and their mamas don't know that that's not gonna go nowhere. Like the play calls are different for him.
Yeah.
You know that he's not every down back. We all agree. But
We all agree.
Right.
From all, yes.
So right. So what they're saying,
I see it now in games where there's spurts where he picks up 5, he picks up another 6. I'm like, oh, he almost got away with that one. But
and he doesn't have the same burst.
Oh no, he definitely don't have that same burst.
He might not see that breakaway speed that he had last year, but at the same time, the play calls are completely different for him.
Because which goes back to the point what you were saying when they were in with for all your listeners out there, what Jordan's alluding to, when there were 21 personnel, which meaning you have 2 running backs, 1 tight end, and 2 receivers, right? So when you're in that scheme, when you had Ezekiel Elliott and you had Tony Pollard, you didn't know what was going on, right? But who in this team that can fill the role of Ezekiel Elliott this year?
Deuce Vaughn. Just kidding.
Right? So it goes back to the players and everything like that, which is it goes into the point where do they need player acquisition for this trade?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
Do they need like a Derrick Henry? And if they get a Derrick Henry, right, would Tony Pollard be close to what he was last year?
Depending on the play calling. Depending on the play calling, which goes back to.
Acquire a player, even if you don't acquire a player, you still have to understand who your players are and what they do best, and run schemes for them so you can use them at their full potential.
Put them in the best position to win.
Here's one key that we did not talking about.
What? Instead of the 21 personnel, you put Pollard out there. Why don't you go with Donald, who's the bigger back?
Right.
Rico Dowdle, yeah.
You can't
But
put Pollard.
they know who's going to go to for instance. I think they've done that, and they have been somewhat successful in that.
I haven't seen it.
This is what
I haven't seen
we
it.
haven't talked about.
I haven't
This
seen
is what
it.
we haven't talked about in regards to the running game, right? A big news this week, right? Our breaking news that happened this week was the running games coach is finally back. So the running games coach has been gone since like week 2.
Last year,
Yeah.
had to been.
Oh, yeah. Since week 2 or whatever like that, right? So he's coming back now, and I think beforehand the running games coach, when the running games coach was absent because he had some personal and family issues, the person that was dealing with the running backs coach was the running backs was the defensive back coach. Don't know why it was the defensive back coach,
Yeah, that
but
makes
I
sense.
think he was the one that was dealing with the running back. So we probably can see something different that's going to happen with this running game now that the running games coach is back. Let's see.
Well,
You know,
well, we can't run Pollard in that A gap. You can't put him. He's not an A gap
No.
running back. And they try to put him in.
But they do. They
But
try
I
to
know,
run
they
him, though.
do.
They try to
They
run him.
put him
And
in
then
that
what happened? He gets stopped in the backfield. Right? Then now we playing second and 10, second and 12.
He gets
You know, and then we got second and long, third and long because of the stupid plays they be calling.
You can't run him in that A
so
gap.
you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of back in the day. Remember when you have Darian, was it Barber and Felix Jones?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
had you're running, and that's what they
Right.
had, and that's what they had with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard,
Right.
right? You know, Ezekiel Elliott was your Marion Barber. He was a power running back, and
Felix Jones?
Tony Pollard was your Felix Jones,
Right.
right?
Right.
And he was a lot better because he's not stealing underwear out the store. But
Right.
that's the story.
Hard times, dog. Hey, hard times.
Wow.
Hard times, dog. Hard
Wow,
times.
you did not go there. You did not go there. Wow.
Out of Walmart, I got that.
The thing is this, right? It's just that to answer your question, that's why I'm saying it takes not just the coaching staff, it takes the players too, right? The coaching staff, I can't disagree with that. If I disagree,
It's just
with
more
that,
coaching, I
staff
believe.
is not the issue.
Yeah.
If I
'Cause we
disagree
got
with
the
coach,
talent.
then I'm not watching the games. The coach, there's problems with the play call. I will say that. I will say that 100%.
But that's putting 7 and taking 7 off the scoreboard though because of play calling. That's score changing. Play calling. No.
Yeah, you're
No?
right. You're right.
Where
But
from-
look, I'm gonna put it
Number
like
one
this,
in the red zone
right?
to the
You
dead
mentioned
last
play
in the
call,
red zone.
Right.
What about that throw to Michael Gallup, right? Was that play calling or was that the player?
Oh, I'm not saying all of it is the coaching. I'm saying the majority is the coaching. But you giving me one player fault and say, see, the player didn't do something that well, so the player got something. I'm telling you, it's more coaching of Dallas Cowboys, not everyone, but Dallas Cowboys. I believe it's more. We have a more coaching issue than a player issue. That's what I believe.
Yes, but it's not that drastic. How many podcasts have we been on to say, man, if this player didn't drop this touchdown, if Ferguson didn't drop this
right,
touchdown,
Jordan.
if this tight end didn't drop this touchdown, if what's his name held on to the ball, it would have been a touchdown. If what's his name didn't fumble the ball, it would have been a touchdown. Right?
Okay,
So it's
but those are different things because we've won the majority of our games. We only lost 2 games, right? But in every single game so far, we've come back and said, I don't know about the play calling. I don't know about that.
I agree. I don't think it's that drastic as you're saying between the players and the play calling.
Oh yeah, it is.
In every game, somebody's going to do something. Like, but at the same time, I can't control the receivers dropping passes. Yes. Could that make the coordinators and everybody look better if they caught them? Yes. But guess what? It didn't. But on top of that, you got penalties. You actually explain all the penalties we accumulate.
Right.
You got situational football.
That's supervisory right there.
Yeah.
That's not coaching.
That's right.
Yeah, you can't have penalties.
Again.
And every time I'm expecting somebody to drop. I mean, if you think we're gonna go every game and everybody's gonna play perfect, nobody's gonna drop, nobody's gonna get sacked.
Every team have drop passes.
Those things happen, but it's what your coaching staff is doing to put you in better situations. Do you have a 15-2 play call? Do you have a 4th-and-1 play call? Do you have a red zone playbook? Those are things I want to know. That sometimes it just looks like we don't got that.
We didn't got that.
The Dallas Cowboys have this year. I'm not saying as often as they were last year, but they have been successful on some like down and long situations when they were back behind or whatever like that. They have plays because you don't have to have a play on a 15 and, for instance, 2nd and 15, right? And you're like, okay, you don't have to have a play that's going to be a 20-yard play, but you're going to have a play that's a 10-yard play, catching on that, and now you got 3rd and 5, which is a lot more manageable than if you try to have a 20-yard play. Now it's 3rd and 15.
Okay, well, what's your point?
The point is that they've been successful in that, right? But the Cowboys, I'm not saying, I don't know about this year because I haven't done the research yet, right? But the Cowboys have been known recently from dropping balls, from dropping passes, right?
And Gallup is being one of them. All right, but anyway.
Penalties too, right?
Coaching.
That goes down to the coaching staff.
Yeah.
That goes to the coaching staff, but it also goes down to the player too.
Right.
Yeah, but how many times you see, to me, all of the dumb players that we end up giving the ball back to the offense, or give it back to the other team. You know what I'm saying? We do a stupid call that we on the other, we on their 20,
right,
or their 5, or their, or whatever the case was, their 10, and then we end up going 3 and out. Or we get to the 40, then we do a 3, then we do another 3 and out. You know what I'm saying? Another 3 and out. Then we get the ball back because we do stupid plays that don't make it all the way down. Then we get one such series and we march all the way down. Right, you know what I'm saying? And then once we get to the red zone, we can't get inside because for some reason there's no play calling to get us in the end zone well. But then we kick a field goal, and then we come all the way back. Then we just start this all over again, do a 3 and out. You know what I'm saying? After they score,
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, come on, dude, you're frustrating.
Well, we took our tight end play out. Our tight ends are no longer relevant.
And I think it resonates with me. I think Deion said it. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. He says you're either coaching it or you're condoning it. Which is it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think that's exactly what it applies to us. Either coaching it or condoning it. Which is it?
Right.
Because in practice, if Gallup is dropping passes, keep rid of them. Like,
right.
If the O-line, why can't you stop us from accumulating all these penalties? What is it? What's not translating well? Is the guys not buying into with the coaching? Then get rid of the coaching. Give it to the coaching staff.
Obviously, the coach is not effective. Obviously, the coach is not getting to their players, whatever the case is.
So your coach never condoned it.
I mean, you guys gotta remember there was a major overhaul this year with the offensive staff, and I feel like I'm giving offense to this coaching staff.
Yeah, you are.
Right? But I will say this, right? While yes, this defensive side of the ball needs to be a lot better, right? But there needs to give it time, right? So after these next couple of games, yeah, if you want to say that, then like yeah, but like yes, I do think the play calling needs to be better, but the players need to be better too. Right?
Okay, all right. Now check this out. Okay, because we run out of time here, so I'm gonna go across the board real quick with this right here, because we don't have that much time left. Who, the trade deadline? Who you picking up? Joshua, you go first. Who you picking up this trade deadline?
I was going to pick up a wide receiver, but now, or a line. Excuse me, I was going to pick up a linebacker. Sorry, I don't know if I'll take a wide receiver. I've got a linebacker, but
From where? From like who you know that you will pick up? A linebacker. You would rather pick up a linebacker?
Look, we have one.
Chicago. I forgot what the guy's name was.
They could have got old boy last year who was in Chicago, who's in with the Ravens now.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
But I'll pick up a linebacker, and then a linebacker or cornerback. I know Jordan's going to talk more about that, but I'm not really. If I would have picked the running back, but this line has to show me something more for running backs to be more successful in this scheme.
In this coaching and this coaching scheme.
Yeah, they're not blocking like they're supposed to. So that's just me.
All right. Right. Okay, Jordan, who you picking up?
So we're in a few trade rumors. We're in the trade rumors I just seen with Devontae Adams. We're in a trade rumor with the Broncos, talking about giving up 2 first-round picks for Surtain. And then we're in a trade rumor for Derrick Henry. I think
about any of those. He wouldn't be about any of those.
But the one that I think that, we're talking about our offensive woes and whatnot. And, man, I think I'll go try to get Devontae Adams. Like, I think Devontae Adams, especially in this offensive schemes now where it's not just one receiver, you have multiple receivers, to use. I think I'll go get Devontae Adams. I think that'll help out Lamb, this offense. I don't know if it would or not, but I think that'd be great.
Devontae Adams. What about you, Bernard?
Going for the Jets. Cook from the running back for the Jets. Cook. I'm getting him because he want to be traded. Yeah. He asked for a trade. I go try to get him because he's trying to prove a point.
That'd be cheap.
Yeah, real cheap, right?
Yeah.
Until he gets me to get paid again.
Right, exactly.
So
you don't need that. If we're trying to win now, yeah, I think getting Cooks or getting
Henry,
Devontae Adams.
Adams. I think so.
If we're trying to win now, like, and we can worry about all the other stuff in the offseason.
Okay, so right now, if you saying right now, you will stack our offense before you would do anything with the defense right now if you want to compete this year.
Not necessarily. I think my one would be Devontae Adams because how dope would that be to have Devontae? Look at our offense with Mari Cooper and Lamb with that,
and Kellen Moore's offense. Right.
And Kevin was off, right? Exactly.
But I mean, at least, it'll put Mike McCarthy in a position where, okay, Jerry Jones is going to say, okay, you're going to have to pass the ball because I just done traded a first-round pick to get this dude over here. I want to see some passing plays. And I mean, if I can avoid going to Gallup and going to Lamb more or going to Devontae Adams more, that's more success rate, I think, for us in moving the chains and bigger yards and bigger plays. I think that'll also help us out in the red zone. But I think also getting Patrick Surtain would help that defense as well. So you can move Buck back into the slot, and you have Gilmore and you have Surtain on your outsides. I think that reinvigorates our secondary, even though we have a good second now. I think that.
Like, next year. Go ahead.
So I will say this. I will say this real quick. I'm 100% with Jordan on Surtain, right? I had to talk myself. I didn't know I had set myself in this, but like, if you just think about this in your head right now, right? For instance, well, just this year, right? Because Deron Bland is a slot corner, right? He is naturally probably a slot. He's not probably. He is naturally a slot corner. So you're having Surtain this year, Gilmore, and Bland, right? Really good defense. Now think of next year, right? If you think of these three names, Diggs, Surtain, and Bland. That should just tell you already that you to get that.
What you gonna do with Gilmore? What you gonna do with Gilmore? You got to trade for him?
Yeah, he got to go.
I mean, I think his contract is up next year.
Yeah.
I think he has a 1-year contract. So,
but that'll be probably the most toughest back corners. I mean, corners in the league. Diggs and Surtain. That
all under 25, I think, too, or around 25.
I agree. I agree. That would be pretty nasty of a backfield. I mean, corner. So that'd be something crazy.
Who's that youngster?
I mean, I'll give up 2 first.
Number 14 that had all them tackles last week.
What's we were talking about that.
That boy, man.
Yeah, but we were talking about how much we'll give up because we way over right now. So, but that's a good conversation. What we'll give up for Surtain or not. But that's on another. We'll talk about that later this week.
I'll give up 2 first, maybe just to get him because I don't know who else is trying to get him as well. But if you tell me right now to get him right now today, it's gonna take 2 first to pull him away from whoever else is trying to negotiate a deal.
But right now they're asking for 2 firsts and a Pro Bowler.
I think the Pro Bowler thing is actually.
Look, Jordan be like,
send him, hurry up and send him. We got his replacement already.
But you know what though? That is true though, because Gilmore is a Pro Bowler.
Right.
Gilmore is a Pro Bowler. So I give up a Pro Bowler and a first. I don't know about 2 firsts, but I give up a first and a Pro Bowler, which would be Gilmore and a first.
You give up Gilmore this year?
No. Oh yeah, this year. That's right. This year. That's right.
That Jordan. I was saying with Jordan, I was like, Jordan would give up Leighton Vander Esch.
Oh yeah, I give him up. I heard him give him up.
Yo,
I agree with you on
but
that
I
one.
was talking about.
You all trying to be there right there.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Need some help. I'm trying to make this smooth as possible for you, bro.
Ah, that's funny. That's funny. But that's what's up. But check this out. We had a good time today. You know what I'm saying? We got to go, but we kept it real. We got that game coming tomorrow. We're going to all be together watching it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do it up, man, and see what's going on. See if McCarthy and that coaching staff are going to be exactly like Joshua said they are. They're going to be just as good as anyone else on the KC, and we're going to see if that's true. So tomorrow, here we go. And we're going to come back. We're going to talk about this again coming next week. So that is good. Bernard, thank you for coming out and sharing some time with us today, talking about them Cowboys. And we're gonna do that. And if this is your first time, go ahead on to the bottom, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we're gonna do this. So you know how we're gonna do it. We're gonna say it. How about them Cowboys? That's right. We going.
That's
right. That's about them boys. We about to go. Peace.